Hello, so I'm out here the day after Christmas looking at my trees. I have a whole bunch of crabapple trees and Asian pear slash calorie pear slash Bradford pear, a bunch of different names around the perimeter of my house. Kind of see the little crab apples, and then right next to it is a little Bradford or calorie or what do they call them? Asian pears, little tiny ones. About the size of, I guess the tip of my finger. And crab apples are up here as well. Birds love these. They don't taste the best in the world, but you could probably make like applesauce out of them if you want to. Once they're overripe, they're not bad. They're actually pretty sweet. So they aren't completely worthless. I'm blinded here. Here we go. They're not completely worthless, but the question is what do I do with these trees? And I know that they're going to have strong root systems because they're able to support these massive 30-foot tall trees. Can't really see how big they are in this. Let's see if you can see the one over here behind me. It's probably about 40 feet tall. So they're massive trees. And they've never been pruned. And I have a bunch of improved varieties that are dormant right now that I just barely planted this last year. What I'm thinking about doing when I do prune them early spring, I'm probably gonna slightly just trim them. What I mostly wanted to do though is take a few node cuttings off of them and then graft them into these. So what I'm thinking about doing with these ornamentals is just pollarding them, just chopping them back, and then just grafting in more desirable improved varieties into these. And I think that those grafts will just explode with growth because they're going to be supported by such a massive root system in these trees. So if you're watching this, give me some advice. If you've done this before, if you've ever grafted in cuttings into a huge 20 years, 15, I don't know how old these are. How many years does it take for an apple tree to get 40 feet tall? I'm guessing they're 10, 15, 20 years old, something like that. So if you've ever done this before, let me know how it went. Any advice on cutting these back? Give me some advice. So I'll probably do it anyway, even if it's not a good idea, because if this fails, I'll just chop them down. I hate chopping down nice trees though, especially if those root systems are good. If I can graft in some apple into the crabapple and some improved pear into the Bradford pears, I think that would allow me to have some pretty good yields and fruit off of these rootstocks pretty quickly. But anyway, I hope this, if you have any advice for me on what to do here, on how to do this, let me know. But what I'm thinking though is probably going to chop about shoulder level and then just graft in some branches and then just prefer the branches that are going to grow outward from these so that I can have some harvestable fruit in reach, or at least on a small ladder. And remember, I'm like 6'3", so I'll be giving them a decent height. I just don't want to have fruit that's 40 feet up, because that's just worthless. So any advice you want to give on that? Thanks for joining me in the chaos.